I'm Shannon of Fabro Fitness, and I'm going to show you how to strengthen your pelvic floor. So first thing we're going to do is help you understand what is your pelvic floor, how do I know I'm working it, and how best to work it. So pelvic floor, which you might hear like pelvic floor exercises as Kegels or Kegels, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. There's sometimes a misunderstanding on actually what that is. So just to understand what the pelvic floor is, it is muscles that run under the body. So it goes from the pelvic bone under and back to the coccyx, to the tailbone. So if you think almost like a hammock that hangs front to back, and it pulls up into the body, so it supports our uterus, our bladder, our bowels. It plays such an important role. So it's very important to understand how to properly engage those muscles and connect it with other exercises and movements that we do day to day. So with that, I think one thing I want to clear up that I know I was even told to do to train my pelvic floor during pregnancy was to go for a wee, stop halfway through and pull it back and stop. And that would be my pelvic floor. And that's not always the best thing to do. It can cause a bladder infection first off, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. And actually it's a very surface way of working those muscles. So you're actually squeezing when you do that. So you're squeezing the muscles, you're not lifting the muscles. And that's what we need to do. We need to lift and strengthen them up, not squeeze them tight in. So what I find helps is a bit of visualization. So I like to imagine a marble. So if you imagine that you insert a marble up inside and you need to lift that marble up towards the belly button inside the body. So you're not squeezing it, you're lifting it up. So that's where the difference is. So if you imagine that, you try to lift up internally, pulling up without squeezing your glutes and without squeezing in the front, okay? It's not easy, it takes practice. So just keep doing it. If you are in the early stages of postpartum, it's going to be very challenging because those muscles are just going to be so stretched and worked. So you need to really be patient with it and be consistent with those pelvic floor exercises. So if you again think about lifting up without squeezing the glutes, I find another way you can do to practice it. If you try to close the back passage, so say you're trying to stop some gas and wind, without squeezing your glute muscles. So put your hands on your glutes and try to create that sort of tension in the back passage without your glutes squeezing. Not easy, is it? So that's a good way to practice it, because actually, if you focus more from the back to the front, you are going to be getting more muscles involved in that exercise rather than just thinking about the front passage is what we tend to do. But you don't want to run the risk of over strengthening that area because that actually can cause its own issues in the long run. So it's learning how to relax and lift, okay? So just keep practicing that. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And for all your new mums out there, I know it's hard to think of anything other than the baby right now, but try to link it with something that you're doing all the time. So yes, feeding, nappy change, just link it to something, and then the more you do it, the more it becomes part of what you do. Or I found I did them a lot in the nighttime. So whenever I was holding my son, rocking side to side for hours at a time, that's when I would really work on my pelvic floor, trying to pull up while I was standing and rocking or sitting and rocking, some sort of movement. So yeah, fit it in when you can, but try to fit it in as much as you can.